So I'm going to introduce Mr. Al Collins, who is a member of our Public Policy Committee. And Mr. Al is going to introduce our Union of Black Episcopalian representatives. So go ahead, Al.
Good. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. And the bishop just reminded me, such awesome words, that this in fact is Women's History Month here in the state of Maryland. So with all the women that he mentioned, and I just came to mind that, wow, we went from Black History Month to Women's History Month during this particular month. So we are, in fact, with the celebration. Good morning, everyone. I'm Al Collins. As I said, I'm part of the public group, and I certainly attend church here in Annapolis with St. Anne's. But I also spend quite a bit of time doing all the other things that the bishop knows that need to go on. My role this morning is that not only am I part of this particular group representing certainly myself and the group, but also the Union of Black Episcopals in the chapter here in the great state of Maryland. We have a great chapter, and I'm going to introduce, first of all, Carrie Brown, who is the regional UBE director. Carrie has been very involved in all that we do. And coming on after her is going to be Celestine Morgan, who is the interim chair of the Paulie chapter of UBE here in the state of Maryland. And the bishop did mention Paulie. We represent her in this particular state. And I'm going to start again. Thank you all for being part of this. Thank you for patching me in. I'm having my Zoom issues today, and I'm going to then turn it over to Carrie Brown, and after Carrie will be Celeste Morgan. Good morning, everyone. Have a great day, and thanks for being part of this activity.
Thank you, Al.
Good morning, everyone. It's my honor and pleasure to be here this morning. Just briefly, I am excited about our program on the 12th for Bishop Harris. And I can only imagine that she and Bishop Pauli are just joining forces, and their conversations, I'm sure, are interesting because they are both rascally kinds of people. I always like to say that the Union of Black Episcopalians advocate for all isms. I'm not going to take a lot of time this morning, but just to let you know what three things I wanted to point out that we're particularly working on right now. And one is that at the national level, we have partnership with the Task Force on Creation Care and Environmental Justice to identify and address justice issues associated with environmental factors on the local level. We've just gotten started with that, and it has to do with map assessing, which scares me to death, but it should let us know environmental problems that are as simple as the air we breathe, the water we drink, what is impacting our health, especially in communities of color. So that's one thing. The other thing is, of course, we're always advocating for justice. UBE, as I like to say, advocates for all isms, and we welcome all people. In our justice system right now, we have a program that's actually was developed by the Reverend Gail Fisher Stewart. It's called To Serve and Protect, and that is a curriculum that we would like all dioceses to be involved in the future. And the other thing that we are doing as far as healthcare is concerned, and I know Celeste will talk specifically about a program that our chapter is sponsoring, but we continue our work in the area of mental health and other health disparities, especially in the community of people of color. And I said three, but there's actually another one that program we have that's called The Least of These, that deals with poverty and includes the lost and the left out. I won't go into detail about any of these programs. They're all available. We have done programs called Talk to Talk. They're all on our UBE website. If you would like to know more about them, you can just go on our website, www.ube.org, and they're on our YouTube channels. So I'm happy to be here. And sometimes, yes, it does seem as if we are plodding along very slowly, but I'm always hopeful. And with all of you, seeing all of you this morning, it just gives me more hope, and that we're moving towards justice. And you know, it is actually true, justice for one is justice for all.
My name is Celeste Morgan, and I serve as president of the Reverend Dr. Paulie Murray chapter of the Union of Black Episcopalians. Many of you may be aware of our chapter. It was called the Maryland chapter, but in 2018, we renamed our chapter in honor of Reverend Murray. And that was in, as I said, 2018. It's fitting that we would change her name because she, as we're talking about a lot of firsts today, she was the first African-American woman to be ordained as a priest in the Episcopal Church, and that was in 1977. But not only was she a priest, but she was really known for her strong advocacy and a really long-term civil rights worker. She fought against all kinds of discrimination, but particularly on race and sex. So as Carrie mentioned, you know, we are about advocacy. And so I feel that we are carrying on her tradition. The chapter's mission is to further the presence and work of persons of African-American descent in the Episcopal Church. And some of our goals, we want to increase the history of Blacks in the Episcopal Church. We want to fully participate in the mission and governance of the Diocese of Maryland. And last but not least, we want to be an advocate for social and economic justice in our communities, church, and the world. As Carrie mentioned, our organization is open up to everyone, and we encourage you to be a part. I'll just mention one of the partnerships that we're working on, and it's called Kindred Coaches, Courageous Conversations for Health Equity. And that is a program for individuals and families from all backgrounds. Our partnership is with the Diocese of Maryland, Memorial Church, and of course, our Paulie Murray chapter. Also in connection with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The goals of this ministry are to address health inequities and healthcare disparities within communities, particularly of color. So we encourage you to become a member. I have completed the training and several other members have, and we look forward to that continued partnership. Some of the other activities that we sponsor, of course, we just had our Reverend Absalom Jones commemoration. Of course, we know that he was the first African-American priest in the Episcopal Church. We also have a program called the Great Clouds of Witnesses, where we honor people who have been very advocates and those who have worked hard within the Episcopal Church. Our major fundraising activity, of course, because of COVID, we haven't been able to participate last year, but we also support the arena players. And that is one of the oldest playhouses in the United States. One of the, our major activity that another one is the supporting the George F. Bragg Scholarship Fund. And we provide scholarships to members, students who are Episcopal students. And we do that every year through the support of the diocese. So we work closer with the diocese. We appreciate the support of Bishop Sutton and his staff in working with us. And we look forward, we certainly support since this, of course, we're talking about the legislation. We endorse the legislation that the diocese is supporting. And we look forward to our continued working with the diocese and members of this community. And we're happy that Al, even though Al Collins was having problems with his getting on Zoom, but he has been a great support as our legislative committee chair. And of course, Carrie Brown, she has been just a staunch advocate for us. She's a former president. And so we just look forward to everything that we're doing to benefit our community. And I also want to make a special thank you to Canon Chris, who worked with us. She was our co-chair for our Absalom Jones celebration. And of course, we had the participation of the bishop. So we want to thank all of you who participated. And I look forward to enjoying the rest of the day.